with yours truly. Welcome to the relationship with yours truly. I was told not to do that too long. This live stream may or may not be for you, but consider this. It's about the principle of thing. As it is written in the good book, they say we war not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. And it goes on to say, spiritual wickedness and, rulers in high places, doing crazy stuff. Why is it important to talk about, you know, principles and stuff like that? I guess you could choose the red pill or the green pill, what you want to do. Drunken one. Now my night is complete. Yes, it is. Well, my night will be complete when it comes to these fruit snacks. Welcome to the late shift with Mel Mel. You know, yes, I had to do it. I had to do it for you. The reason I'm talking about principles now because principles are the things that we war against. The principles of what we believe, what we strive for. I guess they govern our thinking, our thought process, and things of that nature. They dictate how countries are run. They show how schools, children are trained up. And the different divisions that people have, in their mind. Thank you for the 5 people that are coming through. It's late, so I appreciate you folks being with me. I am gonna try to get through the whole hour and things like that. Principles can dictate a lot of different things, about, a person, where we come from and whatnot, or where we're going, with our belief systems, how we may treat each other and stuff like that. I don't know if this is exciting to you. I don't know. I don't know if this is interesting to you, but I appreciate you for being here. I just think about, sometimes the principles of a person is all we have. Sometimes, like I said, that's all folks have to stand on as far as who they are as a person and whatnot. And I heard, somebody say in an earlier live stream, I think it was a Cap 7, be careful, who you judge, and be mindful, because you never know what a person is going through. You never know if somebody has lost a loved one, or how folks are doing their thing, or whatever the case may be. This is important because our actions dictate, where we come from, what type of principles we have, what type of guidelines or morality we have, or the lack of morality that we have. And sometimes you see that in life, with how we treat each other. This may seem like a vague conversation. It may seem like I'm speaking indirectly about things or just out there, and I'm just going into this because, like I said, I see things in the news. I see things in our politics. I see things, in our streets, in our world, that kind of dictate that, it's important to be somebody of moral character. It's important to understand, that it is not so much the person that you're warring against. It's not so much the person that you're fighting against. Sometimes you're fighting against an ideology. You're fighting against a teaching. You're fighting against a religious practice. Sometimes you're fighting against a tradition. That may not be, the best. Be it you come from, a prejudice or, historically, bigoted background, or be it you somebody that comes from an open-minded society. It's about the principles of who we are as people. And I could leave it there, but we've all seen things. How somebody is, high principled and respectable. And you kind of allocute honor, and dignity with people of high principle. And now, when I talk about principle, I'm not talking about somebody who's high-minded. I'm not talking about somebody who's self-righteous. I'm talking about somebody who has limitations, somebody who has, limitations on what they will and won't do, as it pertains to different things in life. Who are you? Where's your moral compass? Do you have a guideline? So many times I look out into the world and I see people who may lack that moral compass, that guideline, and they may not think that it's necessary. But I thought about this, and this is a real thought. Sherry K, thank you for coming through. This is just my thoughts about principles, of where we stand. Sometimes I look at society and you look at the principles of society as it pertains to sexuality, and, sometimes a lack of principles and how sex sells and everything is sexualized, and, sometimes there's an immorality that comes to it. And once you strip away the morality, once you strip away the principles, once you strip away the sexualization of, society or how things should be seen, sometimes it's hard for people to turn it off, be it a pornographic way of thinking, or be it something where, we have our woman and we look at them as objects and objectify them, as opposed to just seeing them from human beings and as equals, as somebody, to be loved, to be cherished, to be honored, and stuff like that. And sometimes, it's hard for people to turn it off, because you say to yourself, okay, if sex is selling, and like they say, in the streets, is the game. If the game is to be sold, not to be told, then how do you just automatically turn it off? How do you just decide that now I have principles and now I don't? Pink kisses. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you four people for being here with me in the chat tonight, or this morning on the late shift. Welcome to the late shift with Mel Mel. And I'm just talking about principles, how it is important to have principles, because principles will dictate, who you are, what you will and you won't do. Sometimes when you have somebody who have no principles, who have no qualms about things, who have no squabbles with things, then that's somebody who's just, they're incapable of decency, of honor, of respect, of treating people, kindly, just, decent, like, human beings, sometimes seeing each other for, the character, the content of our character, as, Martin Luther King said, you want to see people for the content of the character and not just the color of their skin. Sometimes we judge people based on their lifestyle, and, sometimes you judge people based off of where they come from, their sexuality, their religion, I mean, just the way that they speak. Some people might judge me, because of my accent. I come from Brooklyn, but that ain't gonna stop. So, Brooklyn, what? Rah, but for the most part, principles matter, because they show our guidance, our moral compass, where we will and we won't go, what we will and we won't do, and sometimes when you strip those away from a person, when you're somebody, a man or a woman of no principles, what is left is a void. It is as it's been said. I think it's something from Einstein, or philosophers that said. They said darkness is the absence of light. So I guess immorality is the absence of morality. So that light being the principles, being the upright things, the right things that you would do. That darkness being the void. The negativity. It's like, as a old preacher said one time. You're out there trying to carjack. You're out there trying to steal a car. You don't need nobody shining the light on what you're doing. I'm out there trying to do the negativity. Or I go back to, Plato's allegory of the caves, how men love darkness. So, they were down in the darkness playing with shadow puppets and imagining what the light may look like, but they were in the shadows, hidden from the world, not understanding what was going on. And then they were brought to the forefront of the light from the cave, and then all of a sudden the light, it blinded them. It was too much for them. So they rather to go back to the darkness, and saying as men love darkness. So the important thing is not to love darkness, not to love the immorality, the vices, the sin that's out there. Now, not to sound too religious, but it is a certain thing when it comes to being principled, understanding where you will go with something and where you won't go with something. And I think a lot of people don't know where they stand on a lot of particular issues. A lot of us like to believe that we may be, the most highly upstanding, the most moral at times. Even I myself struggle with things, what I'm saying? We go through things, like a poem I did one time, Cold Winter, struggle through things, but, it's important to understand who we are as human beings. It's important to understand our imperfections, our faults, our flaws, our vices, what turns you on, what tempts you, what takes you to the point where you're not as upright, you're not as upstanding, you're not the model citizen, regardless of where country you come from. We all have our faults, we all have our flaws, but it's important to understand what principles do for us. Principles keep us in line. They keep us from going off the deep end. Thank you for the first thumbs up. I appreciate that. But I'm just really going through there. It's important to have principles. It's important to understand that, we need to control our emotions. We need to, have some type of decency for how we treat each other. Imagine a society without principles, without morality, without ethics. Imagine a world like that. Thank you, Pink Kisses. I, appreciate you for that. Thank you for the thumbs up. But yeah, I'm just thinking about it, because a lot of times I look into society and I see, what people, glorify, especially in America, the violence, the sex, the drugs, the rock and roll, or whatever you want to call it, the rap, the trap music, and I'm not saying that, it's nothing, where you can't understand and enjoy some of those things, you say with moderation. And I'm not saying just go deep into, the vices and sin and everything that people go into, but it is something to be said about being principled. Pink Kisses, I agree. Trash does sell, sadly. So, But the thing is to try to balance that trash out with actually things that are soluble. Soluble, is that, would that be the word, soluble, with things that are nourishing, uplifting. Thank you for the second thumbs up. It's important to understand, that what we take in affects us. It affects the type of people that we will be. What we have as far as the lack of morality and principles also dictates what we will do. Against what's one another. I mean, one another. Excuse me, I'm tongue twisted and tired. It's 2 a.m. in the morning now on the East Coast right now, and this is the late shift with Mel Mel. Thank you for anybody that just came through. I'm just here, mulling over some things and working it out with you. And the reason it's important for me to talk about this particular subject right here now is because sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget that, it's not the person that we have issues with. Sometimes it's a person's way of thinking. It's just how you come about it. It's not the flesh and blood of a person. It's the principles that we war against. It's the lack of understanding. People, are destroyed for lack of understanding, as it is written, in the good book. So that's what happens. What's going on, DJ M Films? Nice to see you as well. Thank you for coming through. This is more of a philosophical conversation, a principled live stream, if you may say. I didn't know if I was going to do this particular live stream. I was thinking of talking more about Trump, but then I said, again, I don't want to get political tonight. I don't want to get into the whole Trump thing and what's going on with him. It's too easy to sit there and just talk about Trump and go into all that stuff. So I'm here, but it is important to understand, our principles or lack of principles, and then how it relates to the next generation. If you're somebody that's raising kids, or if you have children around you, being a principled individual, being somebody not high-minded, but who has a sense of what's right, what's wrong, it helps, because there's so many in the generations now that are lost. There's so many people, kids growing up without understanding, what it is to be principled, what it is to live a certain way, what it is to have a certain life where you do have standards, So that's where principles come in, that you have standards, that you have a way of living, that you see fit, to produce, a life worth living, And too many people I see out there are living a life worth living, or calling it some kind of existence, And principles do play a part in that. They dictate whether or not you care about yourself, how you care about other people. They denote whether or not you think it's reasonable or okay or effective to be a decent human being. How you have respect for elders, or the homeless, the hungry, the powerless. How we respect each other. In halls of justice. Dealings with cops. Dealings with other people who may be criminals. Principles, or the lack of principles, do denote certain things. When you see people who commit crimes, or you see people that do negative things, what happens is there's a lack of guidance, of right principles, because there's wrong principles, there's right principles. Some people believe in living by negativity. Some people believe in by shooting folks down. Maybe that's a way of doing it and whatnot. Then there's some folks out there who believe in lifting folks up. Putting people in the way, in a vein where, hey, these are the principles by which I stand by, to love your fellow man, to lift folks up, to really care about, another person. Some people are about greed. Some people are about dishonesty, deceit, illusion, the misdirection, of a thing. Some people are into that. Yes, they are. And it's just, each day, as it is written, before us is life, death, good, evil. Which one will you choose? And that comes down to the principles of who you are. And not to say that just because somebody does something that may be in the negative vein, or a positive vein, that they are that. One moment you can do something that's absolutely great, fantastic, beautiful. The next moment you can do something that's absolutely horrible. It doesn't mean you are automatically a horrible person. You just have to, realize that there's a balance, between it. Thank you for the folks that's coming through. You're more than welcome to understand. You're more than welcome to speak up, about how do you feel? How do you feel about principles? Do you feel like they're important in society? Do you feel like it's important to, have, certain guidelines of how you would live? Or, do you feel like, just go upon your feelings? Some people feel like you should just go upon, the whims of your thoughts and your mind and your soul, or, just how you feel about things based upon emotions. And it's like me and my mother discuss from time to time, and I tell anybody that I come into contact with, it's never good to just make purely emotional decisions when you live in your life. It's cool to be principled. It's a good thing to be principled, but having the right principles, having things that are life building, that are instructive to, conducive to life, not things that are tearing people down, that are judgmental, that are looking at people in negative ways. I mean, and like I said, this is not to preach to you. This is just my thoughts on the matter, my situation. I don't pretend to be right. I don't pretend to have the answer. I appreciate those folks for just listening. I had to learn that sometimes just because people don't respond to what you're saying doesn't mean they're not hearing you, doesn't mean they don't agree or disagree or whatever the case. Sometimes they're just listening. Sometimes people just need to hear things. But I see a lot in the world that, sometimes, people are affected because they lack a certain sense of morality, lack a certain sense of principles, of guidance, of way to be. And I'm not saying I have all the answers by any stretch, any means, but I do think the world needs more love. I do think the world needs more decency, needs more light in it. There's a negative world where I challenge any one of you right now. If you got off this live stream, or if you got a Google search in front of you, just Google negative things that have happened, school shootings and stuff that's happened in Toronto. There was a shooting out in Toronto. There was a shooting, I think, in Las Vegas, if I'm not saying, I don't know if it's Reno or something like that. There's a whole bunch of things going on, and thoughts and prayers to all those people affected by, different shootings and, mass killings and, different things that have happened. I saw online not too long ago, a couple of days ago, there was a man who stabbed up a pizza delivery guy, and something happened that almost made me come to tears when I'm watching this video of this guy that stabbed up the pizza delivery guy. He was being sentenced, and there was a black guy who was on drugs, and the father came there to the courthouse, and he spoke. He's a Muslim guy, which is cool. And he was in the court saying how he forgave the guy that killed his son, and the mother of the son that killed, his son, was saying she was shocked. She didn't expect this man to come to the courthouse and actually forgive, her son for killing the guy, who was the pizza delivery guy, which was his son. And, he just showed that, forgiveness is possible. Obviously, he lived from a moral code that has certain principles. And what it wound up happening at the end of that whole exchange, even they had to go for recess because the judge was crying. I almost had a tear in my eye when I was watching this, because I was like, wow, imagine somebody taking your son away, or your daughter, from an act of violence or horrific situation, and then you having the wherewithal and the love in your heart to come into the courthouse and forgive, the person who took your son away, or your daughter, or your family member, somebody you love. It's not an easy thing to do. And at the end of the exchange, what happened was the man actually wound up hugging the killer of his son. And I was like, wow. I'm like, wow. I don't even know if I have that level of a forgiveness in my heart. I don't even know if I could be that person. I mean, I don't want to test it out. I'm not saying I want to, I want to do that. I don't want to lose a family member and have to come to court and try to forgive anybody. But to be on that level, to have that amount of love and forgiveness in your heart comes from some place. And the reason I bring all that up is because when you have different principles, when you have a different code that you live by, maybe a code of ethics, maybe a certain way of being, it does, guide you, it does give you a moral compass, as far as how you can be, and I'm not saying that everything's going to be perfect. I'm not saying you're going to want to curse people sometimes. Sometimes I may want to slap some folks up and you lay down your salvation and, strangle somebody, but that's not the way, because it's so easy to hurt people. I mean, I guess if I'm quoting Steven Seagal from On Deadly Grounds, but, it's so easy to hurt people. But as the writer in the movie said, if you want to be great in this life, you have to learn how to heal, and that's true. You want to be great in this life, you have to learn how to heal. In order to learn how to heal, you have to understand, certain principles. You have to understand love, kindness, decency, honesty, respect, to really care about people. And there's a lot of people who care more about themselves than they do other people. There's more people who gravitate towards, their own interests and things that may be cool amongst them and their family and whatnot. And it's the temptation. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a temptation to say, I'm about me, I'm about mine over here. You do what you do over there. Stay out my way. Don't get in my face, and ain't nobody gonna get hurt. Nobody move, nobody get hurt, as the old saying goes. But it does come to a point where being principled, can save lives. Sometimes the life you save may be your own, as they say. But it is a situation where it also helps too in teaching the youth. That is something important to pass down. It's something important to, really, have there, in the crux of your not just your imagination. I was gonna say your imagination. I don't know why I say in the crux of your heart and deep, like a jewel buried in your heart. It's important for us to have love, and the highest form of love is charity. Having charity towards our fellow man, our fellow woman. That's definitely what it is. I could say so much, just about being principled. Just about having a different way that you carry yourself. Having a certain sort of self-respect and dignity, something that exudes to others. It's a poem that says our deepest fears. And I forgot the writer of the poem, but I challenge you to Google that poem. If you're out there, if you care about it, anybody and everybody out there, read the poem Our Deepest Fears. And one of the lines in the poem from Our Deepest Fears, it talks about how, in us shining, we unconsciously give other people the ability to shine. And being principled and being somebody who lives a certain way, who lives by a moral compass, a certain code, which is not easy. It gives people, an example to follow. It gives people something to hope for, to shoot for, to say, hey, if that person did it over there, then maybe I can too. I struggle with a lot of things because sometimes you don't want to be principled. Even folks in this live stream, sometimes you say, what the heck is this man talking about? Principles and 3 a.m. in the morning, this man sitting there in his robe talking about principles. What does he know about any principles? What is this man talking about? What I'm talking about is, we live in a world with immorality. We live in a world of hatred. We live in a world of violence. We live in a world of over sexualization of things, of corruption, of deceit. We live in a world where, it's easier to, go out there and do something negative than it is to go out there, and do something positive, or so it seems, and that's crazy. It's a nice way I'm going to bed. Yeah. Thank you, Pen Kisses. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for everything. I appreciate you. I appreciate any and everybody else that's here right now in the late shift. It's late, so I get it. I'm not mad at anybody if they feel like they got to leave the live stream because I didn't plan on doing it this late. But be it as it may, I had to have some conversations and do some things, that led me to go to the late shift. That's why I call it the late shift, because it could be anywhere from 11 at night to basically 3 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm making the attempt to go an hour. I am making an attempt to go an hour. It's challenging. I'm not going to lie to you. If you have any thoughts, if you have any comments, if you have any questions, if you have anything that you want to add to the conversation, I definitely appreciate it. But these are just my thoughts. I don't pretend to have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I just say that, some of it pertains to, anecdotal stuff, things that I know, stuff that I was taught, not really going too deep into anything, but becoming principled and learning about things is just really understanding, how, one's places in the world and how you should treat folks and whatnot. Learning about, what's respect, not just what was respectable, because anything can be respectable. I guess what's life giving, what's, worthwhile, that's just what it is, But like I said, thank you for being here with me. I'm gonna have some fruit snacks, because my throat's a little dry, But I appreciate it. And two, if nobody has anything to say, I appreciate that too. Thank you just for listening. Thank you for giving me the watch time. It's always appreciated, But I don't know. That's just where I'm at with it, because I wonder what will become of the youth. Where are things going? Sometimes I see people becoming more distant, more into the phone, more into the tablet, less communicative, as far as like in real life, in person and whatnot, but it is important to see each other, as we are, and have conversations and just, mull over things and really get to know each other. And there's nothing wrong with communicating with each other through the computer, because that's what I'm doing right now through this live stream, So I appreciate that, Shout out to the folks that's holding me down, But it is what it is. I'm eating these food sacks because I'm trying to stay awake to finish this live stream. get this watch time up. Let me put my charger in. This would be the time where it's great to have somebody on the panel to talk to as I'm trying to go through my whole thing here. And thank you for the thumbs up, the two people that gave me the thumbs up in the chat. And yes, I have my blue sexy robe. Not too sexy right now, but that's just what it is. You know, I don't know. It's just so much to say, so much to think about. You know, where do you want to go? I don't know how you folks feel, you know, about this situation. But thank you. Taking a minute to reflect myself. I was really trying to mention before. You ever get to a point over the live stream where you said some things and you're trying to remember your thoughts, recollect it. I probably should write some things down, right? This could easily just have been a half an hour live stream. I don't know if I'll make it a half an hour, but you know, could probably make up the time about whatever. You know, I don't know. If there's anything I could say about what principles mean and how we interact with each other, it's important not to judge a book by its cover, not to see a person how they exist and then automatically assume that because they're a certain way that there's no good in them. You know, just because we disagree with each other doesn't mean, you know, it has to be a situation where there's war, there's strife. You know, how many wars have been started just because people have differences of opinion? You know, people have lived by different principles. Just because somebody chooses to live different doesn't mean it's always wrong. Sometimes it is wrong, depending on, you know, what they're doing, if they're hurting or tearing down a society or genocide or whatever the case may be. Sometimes people just have, you know, different thoughts, maybe religiously, maybe, you know, different thoughts on, you know, how one should take care of their body or, you know, dress themselves and things like that. You know, people were quick to say, you know, because this person is different, you know, they deserve to die, or maybe they should, you know, be treated as subhuman. And I definitely categorically disagree with that, because you never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know until you get to speak to a person, until you talk to a person and you get to see, you know, well, maybe this person, you know, is just a little misunderstood. Maybe some things need to change here. Maybe we can learn from each other. No one has the market cornered on decency, on morality, on principles, on how one should live. I don't think any one, you know, particular culture on the planet has the cornered, you know, market, you know, like sold down and tied up and you know, like in a bowl neatly somewhere. You know, that may be the case. I don't know. But, you know, until then, I highly doubt that that's the case. You know, so that's just kind of what it is. Yeah, that's just kind of what it is. Thank you. Like I said, I do appreciate you folks here for rocking with me and whatnot, the 5 people. I think I got an idea of who you 5 folks are, but, you know, it's all good. Thank you for having me out there on the computer and whatnot, you know, just letting the watch time play and whatnot. You know, that's cool. They do say that people don't go back and actually watch all these live streams, so I don't know if anybody's actually going to watch this live stream, but the cool thing about live streams is that you could watch your own live stream, and if you had different points and particular things that you wanted to highlight and make, you could slice the video up, you could use the audio. Thank you. Appreciate that, Drunken One. Yeah, but what you can do, a lot of people don't know with the live stream. Let's say you're in the live stream and you're making a point and you're telling a story and you're saying something that's very significant. What you can do is take the live stream, strip the audio of it, put a graphic or some, you know, other things there, and you can use that as another video. There's things in this thing about principles that I could definitely use for like a 5 or 2 or 3 10-minute video, and I could just slice it up and say, okay, that's what my thoughts are on principles, or go to another live stream and say, okay, that's my thoughts on politics, religion, or whatever, or, you know, eating oranges, who knows, you know, different nuggets and pieces of wisdom that you can have from your live stream. So that's just something that you can do, you know, as it pertains to these live streams and whatnot. It's challenging, I'm not gonna lie, because everybody's not gonna come back and watch these live streams. And a lot of times I may say something in the 30-minute mark of the live stream that nobody's gonna sit down and watch and get to. But if you have the time, the patience, the wherewithal to actually go back and watch your live stream, or have somebody edit it. Maybe you got a family member, a friend, or somebody that's willing to go through it for you. What's going on, Lulu? Love you. Appreciate you. But I'll ask you and Drunken One, how do you feel about, principles? What do you feel about, the differences people have? Do you think it's a matter of principle, or do you think it's just, how people look? Is it just, the color of somebody's skin, the background that they're from? What do you think about that? I'll be interested to know if you have any thoughts on that conversation. But I was just talking about briefly, how you can actually take different points from the live stream, but, things that you said, stuff that maybe time stamped, or even too, a lot of people don't realize too, if you have something in the live stream that you said that you want people to know, you can actually go back to the live stream, and in the description part, you can put down different timestamps of things that you said, say this is the exciting part, or this is the moment that you should look at, or this is something that you should watch, to give people something. I'm thinking about doing it myself. It takes time to edit. I got over 1,000 videos, but I'll get around to that eventually, or get some kind of editor, because you might need help with all that after all these videos, this content, how you even going to store all this stuff. But I digress from that situation, And also, too, you got to learn how to extend the conversation, even though I just lost a person. It's all good. I still love you. And I gained the person. I lost the person. Thank you for being here. It's challenging. I'm not even going to lie to you. It's challenging to do these hour live streams, because sometimes you could have said everything that you wanted to say, in the beginning. I honestly was like 8-9 minutes in, and I'm like, you know what? I could wrap it up there. But then, you're saying, all right, you're trying to get this watch time, and people are giving you the watch time, and they support you. So you gotta kind of like extend it, and you gotta try to find stories and anecdotes and stuff like that. You could read from and whatnot. Who knows? Maybe I should do a Sudoku puzzle or something like that, or read what you call them, a tea leaf or something. I don't know, a piece of wisdom. Oh my God, I just dropped something up there. Don't get me to lie to you. Oof. Got movie tickets up here, but I'm not gonna get into all the movies that I've seen. I've seen so many movies I can't even remember. So that's just what it is. These are my movie tickets. This is something that I do. I used to collect movie tickets on a regular basis. So that's just what it is. I don't know if anybody's seen a good movie, Egyptian Gamer Geek. If you out there anyway, shout out to you. I saw a movie one time called Righteous Kill. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. That was a long time ago. Observe. I don't know what that movie was about. What did I see? Sorcerer's Apprentice. Somebody asked me about that. I did see Sorcerer's Apprentice. I don't know about what you do for a living, but you should do YouTube unprofessionally. You could really help people like broken kids and got a home. Well, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows, DGM? Who knows? Maybe one day I will. I will get to that professionally. I remember this one right here. There Will Be Blood. I like the title. I didn't care for the ending of that. Yeah, DJM. People have said that before. If it gets to a point where professionally I get to do it, then that's cool. I have to look at myself in the mirror, so I treat people the way I want to be treated. The principle of decency is hard to find. Yes, it is hard to find. I found my Iron Man ticket, my Iron Man 2 ticket. Believe it or not, I went to see Iron Man 2. I seen that once upon a time. Yes, I agree with you, Drunken One. The principle of decency. It's definitely something hard to find. I went to see Underworld. I forgot I went to see Underworld. Kate Beckinsale. Oh wow. What else did I go see? I went to see Soloist. I don't remember going to see Soloist. I really don't remember going to see that movie. But it is what it is. Pirates of the Caribbean. I forgot which one that was that I saw. Also, too, Indiana Jones. I saw an Indiana Jones movie, the last one that came out. Knowing. I don't know what the Knowing was about. I forgot. I forgot. So we called it the Knowing that I forgot. And Babylon. I don't even remember what that was about. I've seen so many movies. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. So many movie tickets. I remember Righteous Kill. Yeah, decency is something, and also DGM. Um, who knows? Maybe I'll get to the point one day professionally. I'll get to do this whole YouTube thing and helping kids that are broken and going through things. Yes, that's definitely something I look forward to doing if it's possible. Or if it's possible for me. X-Men Origins. I went to see that at one point. You know, um, that's one of the things that I did. Do I have more movie tickets? Yes, I have more movie tickets. I've been to a lot of movies. Ways to Die. I don't know if anybody's ever saw that movie. I don't even know what these movies are about. Ways to Die. I'm trying to figure out ways to live. You know what I'm saying? If you can see that somewhere in there, Ways to Die. um, yeah, I'm not looking for any ways to die. Avengers: Age of Ultron. I went to see that. I went to see that. That was once upon a time. I went to the theaters to see that. Uh, what movie is this? The Terminator. I went to see Terminator. Terminator Salvation. If you could see that, I don't know if you could see Terminator Salvation, but I did go to see that. Transformers 2, straight garbage. But I went to see that once upon a time. Why am I taking the time out to do this? It's because you gotta extend the live stream. After you made your point, the Hurt Locker. I actually like seeing the Hurt Locker. I put the hurting on the streets. On these streets, I give them a little something. That's the Hurt Locker. So those are some movies that I definitely got to see. And do I have any more? Do I have any more? Um, I went to see Dark Knight. Yes, I went to see Dark Knight. I didn't even know I had that still in there. Some people call me the Dark Knight in these streets. Where I said I am Batman. Whatever. Do I have any more movie tickets somewhere? What's going on? What's going on, Kenneth? I was actually going through some old movie tickets that I have. And also too, I got this Benjamin Button. I went to see Benjamin Button. Yes, that was something I went to see as well. So, yeah, glad you're here though. Thank you for being here. These are just some of the movie tickets that I have. I got some movie tickets over there. I went to see a lot of movies. Oh my God, so many movies. Do I have any more movie tickets? Yeah, I have more movie tickets. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yes, I went to see Ant-Man and the Wasp. Making sure I don't got none of my personal information on there, but you know how it is. Y'all ain't gonna come after me. So good. Any other movie tickets that I got? Right now, if anybody's wondering what I'm doing, I'm actually extending the live stream. This is how you extend the live stream. Sometimes you have to find something else to talk about after you talked about a lot of things that you done talked about. But yeah, to those people that came in talking about being principled, the need, the want, the yearning to have principles in life, understanding, where they play a part in our life. Just Right. I don't know what this movie Just Right, but I went to see that as well. I could probably do like a whole live stream on movie tickets that I just have. Forgive me for that. Sometimes I get sidetracked. It's good to get sidetracked sometime in life, sometimes even on a live stream or whatnot. It's good, because things happen. People get distracted sometimes, and it helps. It helps with great content. It lets people know that you're a human being on a live stream. Because you can't always keep it straightforward, straight lace. But I'm still pretty focused. Most times. Trader. I remember this movie with Don Cheadle. This is a movie I went to see, Trader. Good movie. I encourage you to check that out. I'm looking to see if I have any other movie tickets that I may not have seen or got. I don't know. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Distracted a little bit, but I'm still here. 8 people here. Wow, you're here with me. Thank you for the 8 people being here. I was just talking about movie tickets. What's the normal price for a movie? Wow. What is the normal price for a movie ticket now? I just had the Ant-Man and the Wasp ticket here. Let me go through that Ant-Man and the Wasp ticket because I went to see a lot of movies. People think I'll be playing with this movie game stuff. Nah, man. What is the normal price? I'll show you right here since you answered that question. I'll see if you can see it, Lonely Prepper. Do you see the ticket price there? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you can see it. Let me know if you can see it, Lonely Prepper, because it's there. But um, it's there. I don't know if you can see the ticket price. Let me know. Does anybody say it? You see how I'm doing this neat camera trick and whatnot with the light and stuff like that. It's darkness. But that's basically the price of a movie ticket nowadays. If I'm not mistaken, that's like about $16 or something like that for a movie ticket nowadays here in New York. Down south is probably a lot cheaper, but if you catch a matinee, you probably could get something for $7, $5, or whatever the case may be. So that's just one of those things. So yeah, that's that whole situation. Sometimes depending on what the movie is, if it's like 3D or something, real 3D, which is low quality, they charge you. You could wind up paying like $30 for a ticket, 20 something dollars, $30 or whatever for a ticket. But that's New York because we make a lot of money up here, and people pay a lot for things that shouldn't be overpriced. But that's just what it is. It's all good. It's all good. Let me see. This is a ticket to a Mets game that I went to. That was a good game. That was a good game. I got behind whole plate. That was cool. So that's just what that was. A lot of stuff going on in New York. A lot of stuff happening and whatnot. Yeah, yeah. Oh. What was this? What I was reading? I was reading something from the T. Um, Friendship is a sheltering tree. That's interesting. Uh, no, on the phone. Plus, I think it was backwards. Yeah, it was backwards. Oh, the price was about $16. Depending on where you go, the price was $16. Let me see. The price for the movie ticket that I paid recently was $16.92 for an adult ticket in Times Square. That's what movie tickets are going for here in New York, depending on which day you go. If you go at a time that's like in the night, sometimes, because a lot of times I may go after work, or I may go. What's going on, Crimson Fantasy? Been a little while since I seen you, man, but it's all good. Um, yeah. Lonely Prepper. As far as the movie tickets go, it's expensive to go to the movies out here in New York, especially if you got like a date or something. You trying to impress them and whatnot. You want to hit them over with a little McDonald's and let them know McDonald's has got the value dollar menu. Nah. Don't take your date to McDonald's on the first date unless you really, really vibe it with somebody. You go into movies and McDonald's, you better be that one. You better be that person. You better be that individual that can make up for it in other ways. But you never know. Food, folks, and fun, as the old saying goes. Yeah, been enjoying the summer, relaxing. I'm back recording music. That's what's up. Greetings, Brown Dwarf. Greetings, Brown Dwarf. Shout out to all of you folks that have come to the late shift. I mean, at 3 in the morning. What is it? 3 in the? Is it 3 in the morning? Almost 3 in the morning. Thank you. Shout out to you folks. You the real MVPs of this chat. Like, I got 9 people in the chat right now. 4 thumbs up. Thank you for Crimson Fantasy being here. Brown Dwarf, Lonely Prepper, Lulu, love you. Pink Kisses was here. Drunken One. I don't know if he's still out there, but shout out to Drunken One. Appreciate you and whatnot. If anybody made it to this point, the God is in the house. There you go. You the God in the house. But the God of the hood is here, so it's all good. McDonald's and a big booty. Oh my God! It's the small things, Crimson Fantasy. That's what she said. Oh my God! Oh my God! Yeah, but I'm glad you enjoying your summer. Thank you, Drunken One, for still being here. I appreciate you. For a bit more. Yeah. I'm trying to be here for a bit more. I'm trying to make an album. I'm trying to make an hour. I'm trying to make this an hour live stream. No, I'm not trying to make an album. I know Crimson Fantasy is about to record it on it. Trust me, I got no complaints. Wow, Crimson Fantasy. That's funny. That is funny. Hey, man, everybody has their people. Oh my God, album. No. I'm trying to make the hour, Brown Dwarf. I said album by mistake. I must have got caught up, Been lurking and listening, Amy. Okay, nothing wrong with lurking and listening. I'm at the point I've took a melatonin, so I get sleepy. That's funny. Nothing wrong with that. Drunken One. Sometimes I've been known to put people to sleep. I mean, not with my hands or nothing, just, the sound of my voice, free of charge, free of charge. So if you do fall asleep by the sound of the soothing voice of Mel Mel, sexy baritone, then just, you're welcome. Drop the album on the bell. Funny, funny. Yeah, I need to do an album. Me and Crimson Fantasy do like a joint album, but that's good that you're back to recording music, Crimson Fantasy. And then there was Molly Dolly. Molly Dolly. Hey. Shout out to Molly Dolly. Hopefully everything is crazy. You wake up screaming. Sometimes I wake up screaming too, drunken one. Nothing wrong with that. Drunken one breakfast shout. Yes. Listen, I agree with you, Brown Dwarf. Listen, I need the breakfast. I need my breakfast. Ah, I'm in my zone. Ah, egg and cheese. Ah, coffee. Ah, orange juice. Ah, I'm in my zone. Listen. No, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you're healing up, Molly Dolly. Beer, the cereal. You know what's funny that you say that, Brown Dwarf? I was speaking to a coworker, and they said that they got beer soap. They got soap that's made out of beer. I don't know if anybody's ever tried that. They have a soap beer. I gotta ask them what the soap beer is made out of. But yeah, beer in the cereal. If you have beer in the cereal, then you got a lot of explaining to do, man. You had a hard day's night, as the Beatles would say. Hard day's night. Drink the beer, pour it in the thing. I mean, but if you got beer in the cereal, what type of beer would it be? That would be interesting. Me, I probably have some Corona in there, but shout out to that. Cinco de Mayo, all that stuff is what it is. Right now I'm talking about a bunch of nothing. Beer the cereal. Oh my God, But this is the part of the live stream. Yes, breakfast shout hashtag. The beer soap I bet the smell is overbearing. Ha! Funny, Molly Dolly. That is touche. But yeah, they actually have a beer flavored soap. Drunken One is brewing. Yeah, Drunken One is good at brewing. He does that on his channel. He's done that on his channel. I've seen a couple of videos where I said, wow, he really is the drunken one, what I'm saying? But he's drinking his own product, But, like they said, never get drunk with your own product. But, maybe it's not good if you're not getting drunk off it. But I digress from that conversation or whatnot, But it is what it is as it pertains to that. Anybody that has made it to this point of the live stream is just really getting the chill kickback version of it. This is the wind down, the home run stretch, the ninth inning part of the live stream where you're just kind of saying, all right, cool. Mel grow the beard. I will grow the beard, but just not yet. They're not ready for it. I made 10 gallons of Nicole today. Wow. Okay. I mean, I might have to pay for a gallon. You send some to Brooklyn, New York. I send a check or money order out to Drunken One YouTube. What I'm saying, might have to check that out. Michelob, okay, I hear that. Let me find out. Drunken legend. What I'm saying, drunken liquor. I do a morning shout. Drunken One. Give me more liquor. I'm not an advocate of drinking. Drink responsibly. Woo. What I'm saying. But anyway, but I got something around somewhere. Yeah. You don't want to get too carried away with anything. And hot jerky. I'm gonna let you have that one, Drunken One. With the hot jerky. I had some jokes. I'll let you have the hot jerky. Oh my God, my pure mind. And this is the point where, yeah, drinking is legal. And Cheryl, thank you for coming through. Yeah, drinking is legal. And this is the point where I remind you, this is a family live stream. This is a wholesome live stream. The purest thoughts ever. But yeah. Yeah, if you're here at this point, like I said, you're the home run stretch. I'm really about to make the last 10 minutes in the orange. I do have an orange somewhere. I just don't feel like going to get it right now and cutting it up and doing all that stuff. But it is there. Woo! Yes, Smiley Dolly. And by that yawn, you can tell that I'm making it. Oh my God, I just killed a tick on my phone. I didn't expect that. Wow, you have a tick on your phone. I don't know if anybody remember the cartoon The Tick or the live action show, but I digress. I'm showing my age. I'm dating myself. You're in the woods. You're in the woods listening to Mel Mel. Uh-oh. Where's your woo-hoo? Um, my yoo-hoo. Oh, I said my woo-hoo. No yoo-hoo tonight. Yeah, Cheryl. I yawn. As I hit these last 10 minutes of this live stream, and I encourage you folks to stay with me and vibe out. We got 10 more minutes. That didn't sound right. Yeah, where's my yoo-hoo? Woo-hoo. 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 I don't know. Woo-hoo. That sound of the police. But yeah, no yoo-hoo tonight. I actually don't drink yoo-hoos a lot. I drink yoo-hoo every so often. When you saw me that night with a yoo-hoo, that was like a special event. Woo-hoo. There you go, Cheryl. I mean, that was like a rare occurrence. Yeah, you crying, laughing over there. Well, brown dwarf is in the woods. Just watch out. Like I don't want no bear or something to attack you. A grizzly, like mel, because nature wants to hear me too. There's probably a squirrel listening over to the sidelines. Mel is on the late shift. You know, Something like that. Bigfoot, yes, Bigfoot watches the late shift with Mel. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, brown dwarf said he's in the woods. I think Bigfoot is listening in the distance. Like you hear like a laugh or something, just run. Drop the phone and let Bigfoot listen to Mel. Bigfoot, if you're out there, you know what it is. Shout out to the homie, saying, from the God of the Hood. But yeah, that's how that goes. Also, too, I challenge people not to take yourself too seriously, as I did talk about earlier in the live stream. When I was being more serious about being principled, and sometimes people lack the morality and whatnot, and the issues that really people have with each other, are about, like I said, how we think morally, philosophically, spiritually, just politically. Those are the things that people really war against, and to try to understand those things and come to some kind of common ground, and just decency, some civility, it helps. You'd be surprised how many wars would be prevented. If people actually seen each other and are able to have civil conversations. We don't have to agree. I think it's not Plato. Was it Aristotle? I don't know if it's Aristotle or Plato. Which one of them says that the mark of an intelligent mind is being able to entertain an idea without accepting it. So there's a lot of things out there that you can entertain, but you don't have to accept. My whole channel is dedicated to Bigfoot. Yes, Brown Dwarf is not playing, Cheryl. Yes, Bigfoot. One day when he meets Bigfoot, the Bigfoot will tell him that, I know Mel. He's a very cool individual. So everybody has their thing. Yeah. So my channel's theme is just greatness. I don't know how else to put it. Awesomeness. World domination. But anyway, you already know. Right back at you with the fist. But or realistically, what I do is just trying to find the truth about things, just trying to be realistic, down to earth, brother. That's what it is. But this is not about me. Ever hear of a soft drink called Kickapoo Joy Juice? No. Am I a little Bigfoot? Hey, it may be. No, I didn't hear about Kickapoo Joy Juice. I have a joke for that, but I'm gonna leave that alone. That's probably an adult joke, but I imagine there's a lot of joy juice going around. No, I have not heard of Kickapoo Joy Juice, but it sounds like it's Asian or something like that. No, not discriminating or judging or anything like that. Remember Jolt? I do remember Jolt. Jolt wasn't that the knockoff of like Mountain Dew or something like that? Give you a jolt of energy, just basically sugar, water, green or something. I don't know. But yeah, I remember Jolt. Gives you a jolt of sugar and a fast track to diabetes. I don't know. Like I said, jolts. Jolt. I do remember. Cheryl just got a jolt right there. Like a jolt of sugar. Like I said, sugar rush. That's what you call it. I mean, anybody remember Mellow Yellow? I mean, if you're ever down south, Mellow Yellow. There you go. Wow, there's so many down south drinks. I would go down south just to get me one of those drinks or something like that. Just to go down there and eat. I got some relatives down south that I'll probably go see just so I could go to Piggly Wiggly. They'd be like, oh, Mel, You came out to see me. It's been a while. Yeah, 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 yeah. I love you too. Cool, cool, cool. Where's the Piggly Wiggly? Let me go get some fried chicken. Somebody cook up something. Get the barbecue going. I don't know, but it's December, baby. Don't matter. Let's get it going. Shh. I don't know. Mellow yellow is when you. Yeah, yeah. That's funny. That's funny, Brown Dwarf. No, but there's actually a drink called Mellow Yellow. You know, a soft drink. It's like I think that's the one that is the knockoff of from Mountain Dew. I think that's the knockoff of Mountain Dew. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of most people don't know there's actually different soft drinks from different regions of the country that they only sell in that region of the country, so they don't wind up having to compete heavily with like Coke or Pepsi or whatever big brand is out there, and they'll kind of give them their leeway or whatever to say that you mark that territory. I don't know if they still do that now, but there's certain places where you won't find a Mellow Yellow or knockoff Dr. Pepper or some grape drink that you never heard of before. Sure, not familiar with any Southern sodas. Yeah, but it is true, Cheryl. They've had them. We have Mellow Yellow. It's a Coke product. Yeah, probably bought them out now. Southern, Mr. Pibb. Mr. Pibb is up here in New York, but you won't find it everywhere. Certain restaurants or stores have Mr. Pibb. It's just a thing. I can't really get into it too deeply or whatever. I don't got the soft drink world all wrapped up in a bow. Even though I did watch a couple of nice documentaries on Coca-Cola, but I digress. I have them on tape somewhere, but who knows? Maybe one day I'll get back into that. But right now I'm just here doing what I do now. And like I said, I'm almost to the home run stretch. I'm approaching 3 minutes left. On the live stream, and it is a marathon. It is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon to get to these watch time, these watch hours. Shout out to anybody still trying to meet those 4K hours. It's not a game. I was talking to one of my friends about it on a bus today when I was riding, and I was telling him, I was just like, YouTube is tripping, man. You get down here and eat good Southern cooking, you might not want to go back. Yeah, I agree with you, Lonely Prepper. I do. Coca-Cola VGO. There you go. I agree with you. So, I was gonna say Southern Prepper, Lonely Prepper. I agree with you. Maybe you should sing a song. I don't know what song to sing, Cheryl. I wish I had a sing along, ding a dong, ring a song, ring a thorn. I wish I had a song for you. You know what I'm saying? I only have 156. Take me 10 years to get 4,000. What do you mean 156? You have 156 minutes? Please don't tell me you said you have 156 minutes. That's real. That's real. The struggle is real. If you have, no offense, 156 minutes. Wow. I'll relate to you, and I'll say it like this. Like I told my friend, YouTube has become a thing where if you're not making money off of it, you do it for the passion of it. You do it because you like doing it. I do want to try to create some economic opportunities out of it. I'm not going to sit here in front with you and fake with you that if somebody slipped me a check for my efforts, that I'm going to be like, no, no, no. Even if I said no, I would still think about it and say, you know what does that entail? What are you asking me to do? Is it compromising me? Stuff like that. If not, then, it's cool. Yeah, Cheryl, that's what happens. But I'll say to anybody, like I said, if it's not something that you care about trying to push forwards as far as, go for the gusto or go for the minutes, the 4K hours, then just be you, be yourself, do what you want to do. Like one of my friends, he was talking about, same friend I was talking to, he was just like, you know what, you should be able to create the type of stuff that you want to create. So if you're on YouTube and you want to create the videos that you want to create and, connect with the audience that you want to connect with, then do that, Don't worry about the money, just work on the craft and do what you got to do. Broke my pinky foot nail. You got to have your pinky foot nail right because Bigfoot might come upon you. So, you can't roll around with, a broken pinky foot nail, and then, Bigfoot can smell blood out there. So be careful, Brown Dwarf. It might go down out there. You might have to hopefully you could fight or something like that. Bigfoot come out the bushes to one. Oh, I'm on Mel Mel. I don't know, but anyway, be safe out there though. You know, got ticks out there. Those deer ticks, Lyme disease, all that crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to have a deer tick. I don't know. Deer ticks are bigger than regular ticks. But that's just kind of what it is. But as it pertains to YouTube and anybody, yeah, yeah, ticks. I know ticks are crazy, man. But that's just what it is. Anybody that's on YouTube, trying to, still make something of it and whatnot, you just have to find different avenues. I encourage you to, go on different social media platforms and, promote your stuff, different ways. I know Green Bay Wacky is really good at that. Thank you for the 7 thumbs up. I appreciate that. And one of the reasons that I'm still going and pushing it, because one of the reasons I do believe in myself, I do see that the audience is there. People are supporting me and appreciating the content that I put out there. And also, too, when I did decide to go push for the 4K hours, I was at 65,000 minutes. I think it was 65,000 or 62,000. Let's tell the story right. I was at 62,000 minutes and I had a moment of truth. Find you on Instagram, Brown Dwarf 12. There you go. Brown Dwarf 12 at Instagram.com. Something like that. Nah, nothing wrong with the shameless plug, I mean, as long as you ain't doing nothing shameless when you get them over there. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's all good. As long as you ain't got them over there, you got some freaky other stuff going. Say, yeah, Mel led you to this Instagram page. I want to get freaky with you. There goes your song, Cheryl. But I don't know. Don't be over there getting freaky in the name of Mel. But yeah, check out Raldorf 12. Instagram.com. Nothing wrong with that. Keep it fun, keep it freaky. So, yeah. I'm funny sometimes. Yeah, I am. That's what I like to believe. You know, in my moments of the delirium. But that's just what it is. I just I gotta look at the time check, and yeah, it's about to hit 3 o'clock soon. Why not? Why not ride this out to 3 o'clock? Nah, man, it's all nature. Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say. Until the clothes start coming off. Do the brown, do that, shake it. Nah, it's all good. Midnight on the money here. Well, it's midnight over there, and it is just about 3 a.m. over here. 7 people still in the chat. I appreciate all you folks for being in the chat with me, however you've been doing it, lurking in the background. Yes, 3 a.m. for me. Is it 3 a.m.? I'm waiting for the minute to change and whatnot. I'm about to go another hour. Nah, it's not, nah, I'm not. I can't do it tonight. Okay, I'm that kid, but y'all can't see me. Well, yeah, Brown Dwarf, nature can see you. You're like a weem away, a weem away. The mighty jungle. Anyway, the woods. The woods, I don't know if you consider the woods the jungle, but that's what that is, And it seems like it's taking forever to hit 3 o'clock, and it just hit 3 o'clock. So, with that being said, I've hit over an hour. Oh no, Brown Dwarf in the woods. Yeah, there you go. Like I said, have a great week to you, Amy. Appreciate you for coming through. Always a pleasure. Everybody else, have a great week as well, even though you will see me back here, again, this is the late shift with Mel. I appreciate you. Hopefully the conversation, you got some nuggets of truth, wisdom, something to think about, maybe to laugh, to cry. Sometimes I don't really know how I get to this hour, without you. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate it. Glad you made it here too. And as always, spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. For dramatic effect, you know what's coming next. A weem away, a weem away, a weem away. A weem away, a weem away.